Guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be bringing you along with us for another homeschool morning routine. So this was one of those homeschool mornings where before we even started our day and before we started a learning time, I just felt so behind and scattered. And a lot of that was, the logistics of things already being out from the day before, but we didn't have time to get picked up because we had to leave, and all of those things play a huge factor into how our next mornings go. So I know that was a huge reason as to why I was feeling very scattered and behind, because normally I like to start the day with a fresh, kind of clean slate. Whenever I do have those days, because they are inevitable, of things just, being behind and you're feeling scattered before you start your day, something that I'm trying to be better at doing is trying to stop the overwhelm from completely taking over the day. And a lot of that kind of scattered feeling comes from me just trying to think about all these other things while I'm trying to homeschool or try to put other priorities above it. And whenever I feel that overwhelm taking over, I always have to step away for a second and honestly just really intentionally pray that God just guide my steps, and to remind me that my worth is not found in a perfect homeschool day, and it's not in productivity. It's really a time where I need to step away and ask God to help me walk in grace with my children and with myself being the key, because I feel like whenever I don't give myself grace to either be in the moment or to slow down and to not feel like I have this huge to-do list is when I'm the most impatient. And so really asking God to, again, guide my steps to remind me that my worth is not in how the day goes, and to ask for so much grace and to remind myself that His mercies are new every morning, even the mornings are just very scattered like this one. The reason why I'm mentioning this is from the look of this and from the video, you probably can't tell that my morning was scattered or that my mind was very busy. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I know as mothers, we just are constantly thinking about things, constantly doing things. We have so many things on our plates and to-do lists, so sometimes we can feel alone in that. And I don't want you to look at the video and think, oh, the homeschooling, it's all put together and everything like that, because in my mind, I felt very opposite this day. That's why we're going to be talking about this a little bit. So after I step away and really ask God to help guide my steps and give me grace so I can then extend it to my children, I really have to then set my focus. So I kind of ask myself, okay, first of all, what has to happen today? Not the full ambitious plan I might have wanted, just the essentials, what really needs to happen today. So when I say what needs to happen when it comes to our homeschool morning, I'm thinking reading together, our math, language arts, some beautiful time outdoors. That's enough, and it's okay to simplify and then to let go of everything else that we might have thought would make a perfect day. Good job! Now we're going to blend it together without stopping. Let me see your finger. Ready? Here we go. We're going to do it without stopping. Are you ready? Man. Let's do it again. So something else that I do that has really helped me on these days where I'm feeling behind is to really remind myself to always emphasize strongly the point of connection with my little ones. That's one of my top goals and my top reasons for homeschooling, is that connection and the ability to spend all of these extra hours with my children. And so sometimes on these days where I am feeling behind, I will intentionally be more playful. I'll get into some fun games. For our little wiggle breaks with my preschoolers, we'll do some fun chasing games, as you see. We'll just make it really, really fun, because sometimes we need to be reminded that this is what it's all about. It is about the connection, and it's about being intentional with our little ones. Is it important to do academics 100%? But on these days, specifically when we are feeling rushed and scattered, I found that for me, when I am prioritizing connection over getting all the things done, it really helps me reset my own heart, my own mind, and my focus overall in our home. And again, whether that be a read aloud, a slow breakfast conversation, honestly, even just sitting together for a few quiet moments, not really quiet, but let's just say a few moments, it really does help me remember why I'm doing this in the first place. And that is so important to me on these days where I am feeling behind. And is to, first and foremost, homeschooling is not just about lessons, even though we love doing lessons together and learning alongside of each other. It's about building a life together. This was one of those days where in the afternoon, because I was feeling scattered, and this might not work for everyone, this is just what I do. On the afternoons where I'm feeling behind and I feel like I need to reset my own heart, is I will intentionally put together an activity or something to do with my little ones to help reset my own focus. And this is what I did today. I ended up doing our 5 in a row curriculum. This is one of my favorite things to do with my little ones in the afternoon. And we had just been really busy lately, so I hadn't had a chance to do it. So I wanted to pull this back out, be intentional, really connect with my little ones. We love this curriculum so much. And Ferdinand is one of their favorite stories. This is such a fun afternoon of just sitting down, reading together. We learned about Spain as part of our geography. We got our little globe out and had some fun with that. And then we watched a couple of videos on YouTube about Spain and the architecture and the history and things like that. So it was just a beautiful afternoon, a beautiful time of really connecting with my little ones. But most importantly, as a homeschool mama, it gave me the ability to completely slow down and just soak in the moment. And sometimes I need that, especially on the days, believe it or not, on the days where I am feeling behind and rushed. Those are the days that I found that are most important for me to slow down, to reset my priorities. Because again, that to-do list is always going to be a long list. And sometimes I can lose focus and just wanting to focus on the list instead of my actual priorities. That's why it's so important for me to make sure I have my goals and I have my priorities set for the day. Otherwise, I feel like I would be rushed and scattered every day if I didn't have that priority. So really resetting that focus when it is off and when it is not where it should be for me personally. One of the ways I do reset my own heart is through connecting and doing things that make me slow down as a mama, because some days I might not want to slow down, but those are the days I find that I need to the most, if that makes sense. So I also want to remind you guys as well, as I remind myself, that schedules and routines and rhythms are beautiful. And the most important thing about them is that schedules are meant to serve us, not the other way around. We're not meant to serve our routine. We're not meant to serve our schedules. There are some instances where, of course, schedules are going to be important and you're going to need to stay on track if you have things to go to. But for the most part, for our family personally, I have a very flexible as far as like during the day and what our schedules look like during the week. I have to really remind myself that our schedule serves us. Like, we're not meant to bow down to what it says on paper, if that makes sense. So it's okay, in our home, if I have to shift lessons for the afternoon, if we want to combine subjects, or even if we want to save something for tomorrow. Flexibility is not failure, especially on those days where us as mamas are feeling very scattered. It's not worth losing our impatience and losing our grace with our children. So that would be the hugest, not the hugest, I guess I should say biggest, I guess would be the correct way to say it, part that I've been learning recently is that being flexible in this season is not failure. It's part of the beautiful gift of homeschooling. All the Beccarillos were afraid of him, and the picadors were afraid of him, and the matador was scared of him. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he just saw the flowers and all the lovely ladies there, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. So something that I wanted to encourage you guys with today is that on these mornings when we are feeling behind, because again, I know every single mama experiences this, is to know first and foremost, you're not alone and there's nothing wrong with you. You're not failing because the day started a little messy or your plans didn't unfold perfectly. That is 100% real life, and that's a real homeschooling. And I want to encourage you, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, to just pause and take a deep breath and really seek the Lord and ask Him to meet you right where you are, in the middle of all the dishes, the math lessons, those missing pencils that seemingly just walk away, and the heart that feels just a little tired, because He's just so faithful to meet us in these just beautiful, ordinary moments. Another thing that I would suggest, and this is a practical speaking thing, is really letting go of the pressure to do it all. This is so hard for me. I'm going to say I have the personality that I just want to do all the things, constantly moving. I like to say that I'm very proud of my work ethic, but sometimes in motherhood, we need to be reminded to slow down. And again, our identity and our worth is not tied into how much we get done. So really releasing the pressure of needing to do it all is huge, especially for me personally. That's why it's important to choose just a few things that matter the most. And that changes every single day, I feel like. And to remind ourselves as well is that our homeschool is not defined by one rushed morning. So don't let one scattered morning, one busy morning, one morning where you feel like you are just struggling so hard to keep up, don't let that be your identity of your homeschool. It's not defined by that occasional rushed morning. And a reminder to say that it's the slow, steady faithfulness of showing up, loving your children well, and learning together just in those everyday moments. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, start with connection, because your children do need your presence more than they need a perfect plan. And remember that flexibility is not a detour. It's part of the beauty of this homeschooling life. You can adjust, pivot, and rewrite the day. And that's not failure, guys. I have to remind myself that's not failure. When you are rewriting your day and adjusting and pivoting on an hour-by-hour basis, that is called beautiful freedom. That's why, is another huge reason anyway why we homeschool. At the end of the day, when the books are closed and your house still feels a little messy, please remind yourself, as I remind myself of this as well, is to let grace have the final word, not guilt. If your children felt loved, if you pointed them towards truth, if you did the next small thing in front of you, that is a good day and it's a faithful day. Sometimes on those busy days, we really do have to just put one foot in front of the other and just get things done. And then one thing that I want to leave you guys with as well, and something that I speak over my own heart, is to remember that the Lord does not ask us to carry tomorrow's weight today. He really only asks us to walk with Him in the little moments. So those breakfast table moments, the spelling lessons, the cuddles on the couch moments, and these small moments matter more than you know. I hope you guys know what a beautiful job you're doing. I thank you guys so much for being here and for watching. I hope this was encouraging to you as it was for my own heart. Thank you guys again. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.